Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Friday to everyone. Time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. This is our daily update where we talk about what we worked on today in our little VW restoration shop. So I will start with what I worked on and then I'll talk about what the guys did. So I started the day on this baby here, the 67 Beetle, recently purchased by a lady here locally. I did the pre-purchase inspection on it, and she brought it in for us to kind of raise the bar on a few things on it, so to speak. So we did a new headliner and carpet. So I've showed these things before. These have been done for headliner, carpet. Those have been done for like a week or so. But anyway, another couple things she wanted done was a tune-up and oil change. So kind of finished that off today. Went ahead and I had adjusted her valves yesterday, I think. So took her valve covers and scraped the old gaskets off, cleaned them real well, and sealed those up and put those back on. And let's see. The other thing that she wanted us to at least take a look at was her windshield wipers, which were not working at all. So I spent some time under the hood there, kind of checking and making sure that, well, first thing I did obviously was check to make sure there wasn't a blown fuse, right? That's always the first thing to check. All the fuses were good. I checked the wiring underneath the hood and everything looked correct, and I confirmed that the wiper motor was getting power when the switch was turned on, and it was getting power when the ignition is turned on, but the switch is turned off. That's what they call the parking mechanism, which is where the way they're supposed to work, and they rarely do, but the way it's supposed to work is when you turn the wipers off, regardless of what position they're in, they go back to that home position. It almost never works on these wipers, but anyway, that was getting power. Like everything seemed to be working as far as power and grounds going where they should. So with that, I went ahead and pulled out the wiper assembly and put it on the bench and then bench tested it. And not surprisingly, when I hooked up the power, nothing happened. But then I kind of, I kind of nudged the arm or the linkage a little bit, and then boom, it like started working. And then I disconnected the power and hooked it up again, and then it wouldn't go. So it kind of seemed like something in the wiper motor or the linkage or something was kind of binding. Like it wanted to go, but that initial sort of force to get the thing moving was just too high. So pulled the motor apart, and of course it had like the original grease in it, which I've talked about before. It seems like it's the same grease used on some other things on these cars. And over time, that grease pretty much turns into like wax. It gets super hard and just it really like impedes things from working at some point. So did my best to clean the little gear on the bottom of the armature, and then sprayed some new like spray grease that's a bit thinner down into the gearbox, and cleaned all the old grease off the armature and stuff like that, and put it together, and it seemed to be working okay, but not great still. So the other thing that I did is I noticed that there's the permanent magnets that sort of go around the armature. So it's kind of C-shaped, and then the armature sits in that. And sometimes, and I'm not sure why, what I've noticed is that magnet sometimes gets a little off center. And so what happens is it can actually rub on the armature. And that seemed like it was the case here. Not a lot, but enough where it could stop the motor from easily, starting to spin in there. So what you can do is there's two screws that hold that magnet in place. You can loosen those up, and sometimes you can move that a little bit. There's just like a tiniest bit of slop in the screws and stuff like that, where you can recenter that better on the armature. So I did that, and then the armature actually spun much more free, and the thing worked beautifully. So I greased the various pivots on the linkage and stuff like that, and put it back together. Works amazing now, both speeds and the park position, which again is kind of rare in my experience that actually works. I guess that circuit is pretty common to like burn out somehow in the motors. And yeah, so went ahead and put it back on the car, and it works amazingly. So yeah, it's just kind of a matter of going through the motor and, you know, replacing some grease and tweaking the motor itself a little bit as far as making sure things weren't rubbing. And yeah, it works great now. So she has wipers, and it cost her some labor, but no parts. I was thinking if the motor was burnt out, I was going to have to try and find a replacement and stuff like that. But yeah, so happy ending on that one as far as getting it working again. So I think that was pretty much it on this one. And then turned my attention to this one for a while today. And a couple things. One is the disc brake kit came in from Jason at Air Cooled Vintage Works. So it's a impy kit that we use pretty often. This one is for a non-dropped spindle setup. So this one bolts to stock drum spindles, which is what we have here on this car. And yeah, the kit is really nice, and it came, well, the adapters that you see here came painted already, so that's always nice because you know, it's just kind of a pain to go and paint parts like that. And then the rotors themselves were not painted, so I had Jacob do that. I'll talk a little bit more about Jacob's day later, but anyway, since these were painted, I went ahead and installed these. And then likewise, I did buy an upgraded master cylinder. So I'm not using the master cylinder that comes with the kit. I'm using an upgraded one, which is a bigger bore and higher quality. And so I went ahead and installed that beast. So there it is right there, dual circuit, of course, and had to somewhat tweak the brake line right there. That is the one that runs to the back car. Had to somewhat tweak that one to line up with the new master cylinder. And then I went ahead and formed a new line for both the left and the right wheels up front here. I could have probably got the other ones to work, but they were a little bit short. And plus, they seem to be the original ones on the car. So just went ahead and found in our stash one that was actually ended up being the perfect length for this one. This little shorty here, I couldn't find one that was the right length, so I took an existing one that was too long and cut the end of it off. And we, of course, have a metric bubble flare tool here, so flared it and made it the length that I want. So anyway, yeah, a couple new front brake lines, hard lines there. Got the cylinder all mounted up and reinstalled the brake master cylinder push rod on the pedal assembly and adjusted it. You're supposed to adjust those push rods so that the travel of the push rod is like a millimeter or so before it actually like engages the piston inside there. So you don't want it like touching it, and you certainly don't want it like applying pressure always. So like a millimeter or so is the gap that you should aim for. That's not a millimeter of pedal travel. It's a millimeter of the actual push rod moving. So something like that. You definitely want a little space in there, but not too much, because it just makes your pedal have to go further before it actually engages the brake. So anyway, set that all up, put the finished up the pedal assembly and made these lines. And only other thing was put on a new speedometer cable. This grommet right here, where the speedometer cable goes through the body, I think is the most difficult grommet there is to install on Volkswagens. It's really a pain in the ass and very difficult, and it really feels like there's no way in hell it's going to fit in that little opening, and then you get it in and it fits. But it's probably my least favorite grommet. It sounds kind of funny to even like talk about favorite and least favorite grommets, but yeah, this one, major pain in the ass to replace. But there it is, brand new and new speedo cable. So I think that was most of my day right there between the Sea Blue 64 and the Savannah Beige 67. So let's talk about Mr. Jacob. So Jacob was in today. So he actually just a quick aside on Jacob. him and his mom and his dad took a little vacation to New York City, of all places, here recently, and they ended up stuck there for an extra, I think, like 3 days because of all the craziness with the blizzard and stuff like that. So, yeah, he hasn't been at the shop for like 2.5 weeks because he took a couple little trips, and then that one to New York that, sort of got extended way more than they had planned on. So anyway, glad he's back safe and sound. He came in today and he worked on this one a little bit. So what he did was Rafa and Rene had pulled the front suspension and the transmission before we put it all up on this dolly here for painting. And so went ahead and had Jacob mostly disassemble the front suspension, and then so that we could send that over to degreasing and sandblasting. So yeah, he went ahead and did that, pulled the steering box off, pulled the pitman arm off the steering box, pulled the backing plates and brakes and stuff off the spindles, pretty much stripped it down to just the beam, the trailing arms, and the spindles. And then I took that over to Americode, who does our sandblasting in addition to our powder coating. So yeah, they'll degrease that and sandblast it, bring it back. We'll disassemble it, and then some of it will get painted. The trailing arms I have been exchanging at Washburn's Metal. They have ones rebuilt and powder coated already, so no brainer there. So I'll exchange those, and we'll have Rene work his paint magic on some of the other parts, and a couple of things will be powder coated. But anyway, so yeah, that was Jacob's day, getting that prepped. And then likewise, the transmission, towards the end of the day, he had to leave a little early today. He pulled the drums off and disassembled the brakes on it and pulled, the starter off. So it's almost ready to go to our transmission rebuild guy. So the other thing Jacob did, which I think I mentioned earlier, was for that car, he prepared and masked off and painted the front rotors. So those are painted now, and I might actually put them on tomorrow. We'll see. I'm going to work a short day tomorrow, Saturday, so look out for an episode tomorrow. So this guy, let's talk about this one. So Rene started color sanding this, and you can see the roof is color sanded. I don't know if he's done the roof with 2000 grit yet. I think he's starting with 1000 grit and then doing 2000 grit. He did finish the front color sanding, and then our other paint and body guy from that we use from another shop, he came and he typically does our buffing. So far he has polished this, and you can see polish marks in it. So it's not perfect, but that's polishing. So that's kind of the first step. And then the next, actually 2 more steps then, is to do a buff and then a final buff with like a really, really, really fine buffing compound. So this thing is going to look like glass after a couple more passes from our guy that does our buffing for us. But yeah, we're super happy with how this paint job is looking. It looked really good right out of the booth, but now, with even just polishing, not even final buffing yet, the front of this thing is really shaping up. Just amazing, guys. I'm super happy with this car, especially considering how this thing looked at the get-go. The other Ghia also got a lot of love today. So Raul, our new paint and body guy, who's kind of, I guess I would say he's Rene's assistant. He kept stripping paint off the 70 Ghia, which is the sort of yellow-orange one, and he pretty much has the paint stripped off everything from here back now. So today he did both back quarters and fenders, and I think yesterday he had already done the deck lid and maybe a little bit around the back. But yeah, pretty much everything from here back, not including the roof, is down to bare metal on the 70 Ghia now. And the good news is no Bondo back there so far. So if you saw the episode the other day, you know that on the 70 Ghia, there was seemed to be a prior accident in this area and some body filler in this area. You know, nothing too crazy, maybe like a millimeter or two thick kind of through here. But so far, the whole back of the car down to bare metal, and I don't believe there was any Bondo back there. So great news. That car is going to be much, much easier than this one was, which was full of Bondo and rust. So double whammy on this one. All right, guys, almost there. So the last thing that happened today around here is our upholstery wizard, Santiago, finished the headliner on this bad boy. It's 56 oval. And ooh, look at that, guys. I never get tired of seeing this guy's work. These headliners and everything he does, I could not be more happy with the upholstery that our shop is turning out here. Our guy is just amazing. All of our guys are, actually. So our team, I'm very proud of our team and the work that they do. We're lucky. We've got some really amazing guys here working for us and helping us turn out some cars that we're very proud of. Anyway, yeah, so headliner's done, and he started on the carpet. So you can see the carpet is on the wheel wells in the back, and this is at least prepped here with padding and stuff like that. So I think Santiago said he's going to come in tomorrow and probably finish the carpet on this car. The only thing he won't be able to finish on the carpet, which is my fault, not his, is the front rubber mat that goes up there. I keep forgetting to order it. So he can make all the pieces and pretty much put everything in, but he won't be able to do that final piece right there. And that's my bad, not his. So we'll get that. Probably you'll have to order it Monday and get it like Tuesday. But there's plenty else to do with this car because we will also be doing door panels and seats. So plenty of upholstery work to go left on this one. But yeah, so far, super happy, guys, with how this is looking. Okay, so I think that's it. What happened today? Lots going on here again. Our crew is up to about 6 guys now. Rafa, of course, was off today, being Friday. So Rafa works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Jacob is here, sort of schedule pending on a part-time basis. Everyone else is full-time. So yeah, lots happening around in this little shop, guys. Trying to keep these cars moving. So that is it, and I will see you for at least a short episode tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.